Hi students, hope you are fine. We are making another video for process costing. So let me first explain you in which industries we are using the process costing system. Students, it's one of the cost accumulation system which we are using in those industries where we are producing homogeneous products and we are doing the mass production. So here we are doing some sort of average cost, and here department wise we are recording the cost. So accumulation of cost by process or department it will happen, and we are assigning the cost to inventoriable goods or services, and we are applying this methodology of costing in those industries where we are producing homogeneous products. What are the homogeneous products, friends? Like on 24 hours basis, say you are producing the detergents, you are producing the soaps, or same similar items you are keep on producing on 24 hours basis. Like in our previous video you will see that when we talk about the job order costing, we said that if we apply the job order costing in those industries where we are producing the specialized nature of goods, where the requirements of each orders are different. While here, homogeneous products, same products we are producing. So in this kind of industry, it's more feasible for us to apply process costing. Friends, we will learn how to do the process costing, and also I'll guide you how the questions will be asked in the CMA exam. So here production happening, in mass production is going on, and average cost we assign to each unit of product, and production passes through various processes or through departments. Like how it's going on, we are having department A, department B, and department C. Say department A is responsible only for cutting the material, department B is responsible for assembly, and department C is responsible for finishing and painting the final product. So once department A will finish its work, it will transfer to department B. So you can say that the output of department A become the input of department B. Like that it is moving. All right. So students, we are just trying to develop our understanding regarding the process costing. So as I explained you, production passes through various processes, and output of each process is the input for the next process as I explained you through the departments. Let's move to the next level. Students, I'll show you the process costing concept through graphical presentation. See how it's going on. We issued the material for department A and we applied some labor in department A. Then the same thing transferred to next department and we applied some labor and overheads in department B as well. Finally, the product converted into finished goods. So like that, we are making the process costing system. Since we are having the example of another industry, say we are melting the scrap. So first one we are having melting department, another we are having casting department, and finally we get the metal which we got it through the melting process of scrap. Alright, students. So next one we have to develop our understanding about the accounting entries, which actually we are passing in job in process costing. So how it's going on, students? Entries are more or less same, the way we discussed already in job order costing. The only thing here we have to pass the department wise entries. Like here, when we bought the material, students, this is the first entry when we bought the material, raw material debit and accounts payable credit. This is the first entry when we just bought the material. Second entry, students, when we issued the material for the production, so how we recorded work in process debit and raw material credit. This is the entry for the issuance of materials. Students, one thing you have to keep in mind here, we are not using the applied overhead here, we are using the actual overhead, and a combined entry will be recorded for the conversion cost instead of passing the separate entry for labor and overheads. We will record a combined entry for conversion cost. Remember, in previous units, we already discussed the formula of conversion cost is equal to direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. So a combined entry will be recorded for the conversion cost here. Students, what will happen the time things finish in one department? Say here you can write department A. So here what will happen? The work in process of one department will convert to another department. Like normally what you were doing, whenever your process will complete, we were passing this entry. Finished goods debit and work in process credit. But here, as things just moving from one department, department A to department B, so in this case, still some work need to be performed in next department. So that's why we pass this entry. Work in process department B debit and work in process department A credit. Actually, the work in process of one department converting to another department. Now we will do some spending in next department as well, like raw material we will spend in department B. On top of that, some overheads and labor, which is the combination conversion cost we called as a combination. So we will spend conversion cost as well in the next department. So the time work will finish in next department. Finally, we will have this entry finished goods debit and work in process department B credit. When we will sell these products, cost of goods sold debit and finished goods credit. Students, this was these were the entries of process costing. Now we have to go for the main portion, how we can perform the calculations of process costing. For this purpose, students, you need to develop your understanding about equivalent units of production, because the whole calculation of process costing based on equivalent units of production. So once you develop your understanding how to calculate equivalent units of production, so 70% of the topic already clear. So make sure that you are fully clear about this concept. Let us first develop the understanding what is the meaning of equivalent units of production. Students, here I'll give you the example. Say for 1 unit, in order to complete 1 unit, I have to spend $10 for the material. Correct? So students, 5 completed units, how much I'll spend? I'll have to spend $50 of material cost in order to complete 5 units. Assume that students, I am having 10 units which are partially completed, but I have spent say $50 material cost on this one. Students, here I can conclude that these 10 units are equivalent to 5 completed units. Why I say this statement that 10 units are equivalent to 5 completed units? Because cost equal to 5 completed units already spent on these 10 units. On the basis of that, I am saying that these 10 units are equivalent to 5 completed units, because cost equal to 5 completed units already spent on these 10 units. I hope that you understood this example. Now I'll give you one more example to develop your understanding what is the meaning of equivalent units of production. Then we will go for the calculation part. Students, here we are having one more example. You can say that two half glass of water or two half cup of water are equivalent to one complete cup of water. So in the same way, we can say that 10,000 units, say if 10,000 units are 70% completed with respect to material, say these 10,000 units are 70% completed with respect to material. So I can say that these 10,000 units are equivalent to 7,000 completed units. So this is the story, students. If you still have any confusion, you can make the comment in the video. On the video, you can make the comment. So further, I can reply. So now, students, we have to go for the calculation part, and in order to do the calculation, we will do one example, students. I am following the GLAM syllabus, and I'll show you the question which we are going to solve now. If you are having the GLAM book, you can open the example which we are having in the chapter. uh, just for your understanding purpose, we are discussing this example now. We will upload another video for the practice questions of equivalent units of production. So you will have more understanding once you will watch those videos. So right now, students, we are having one example here, which I'll show you. We can write this example on our screen, and we will be able to discuss the equivalent units of production, how we can calculate equivalent units of production. Students, here we are having two methods. One method we call it as weighted average method, and another method we call it as FIFO method. So we will try to cover both of the methods through this example. Students, this example I am picking up from Graham book. Example is 6-2, and how the data is given. We are having beginning work in process inventory units, we are having 2000, and percentage of completion for material is 80%, and percentage of conversion cost is 40%. Like that, students, normally the data will be given. You will have better understanding once you will watch the video for the practice questions separately. In this video, we will just cover the example to develop your understanding. Students, here we started units started during the period. Units started during the period. We are having 8,000. So total units we are having 10,000, which we need to account for. Out of these 10,000 students, 9,000 units completed and 1,000 units are in work in process closing, and the percentage of completion with respect to material 90%, and with respect to conversion cost it is 70%. So like that, we are having the 10,000 units. So in this pattern, data will be given and you have to calculate equivalent units of production. First of all, we will calculate it by using weighted average method. Students, one thing you have to keep in mind when we are calculating the equivalent units of production, we will have to calculate for material and conversion costs separately. So I'll show you both of the calculations. Students, the formula which we adopt here, we call it as work in process opening. So we say take all. All mean just write as it is all the units without mentioning any kind of percentage. Next line I write, I says units started and completed in same period. Let me explain you what's the concept of this one. Students, I need here those units which I started this month and completed this month itself. Like you can see that my total completed units are 9,000. So out of these units, definitely some units belongs from the quantity of work in process opening. I need those units which I started this month and completed this month itself. Students, how we will calculate those one? Here we are having very short formula: units completed minus work in process opening. In from the total completed one, I'll subtract my opening, and like that I'll have my unit started and completed in the same period. Students, this one I am calculating the equivalent units of production for materials. The third line we have to write, we call it as work in process closing, and here in the formula you have to write the percentage. Percentage means whatever the percentage given for the closing units regarding material, we have to apply the percentage. Like here, 90% is the percentage for the closing units. So 90% of 1000, we will have how much, students? 900, correct? And work in process opening, I told you, take all. All mean no need to apply any kind of percentage when you are using the when actually you are using the weighted average method. All right, students. So like that, you will have the answer how much? 9,900. So this is the method we use, weighted average method. And by using this method, we calculated the equivalent units of production for materials. Right now, students, I'll guide you for the conversion cost as well so that you will have complete understanding. Methodology will remain same. The only thing when you are calculating the equivalent units of production for conversion cost, you will have to use the percentages given for conversion cost. And you know that for weighted average method, we don't apply any kind of percentage regarding work in process opening. The only percentage you need to consider for closing. So let us write here formula again one more time for your better understanding. Work in process opening, say we said that take all if we take it will come how much? 2000. Then we said students units started and completed in same period. Same thing students, 9,000. The way I did here, you know it very well now. 7,000. Work in process closing. Now students, when you are doing it for conversion, you will apply the percentage of conversion. You will have to take 70% of 1000. So you will get how much? 700. So like that students, you will get the answer 9,700. So this is the method students we discussed, weighted average method, how to calculate equivalent units of production for material and conversion cost. All right. Now, right now, I'll explain you FIFO method as well. And later students, so later what we have to do, we will upload another video for practice questions. So later we will upload another video for the practice questions. There you can develop some more understanding how to apply these concepts. So I'll try my best. You are trying to understand for the next methodology, FIFO method. Same example students now we will solve by using the FIFO method. Students, we need to uh, solve the same example by using the FIFO method now. Definitely, we will be able to upload our next video within next 2 days, and by listening that video, you will be fully clear because that video will include around, say, maybe 10 to 15 questions for equivalent units of production. And to cover this topic, we will have one more video in which we will learn how to calculate per unit cost and how to do the evaluation of work in process and how to do the evaluation of finished goods. But students, as I mentioned earlier, if you learn how to calculate equivalent units of production, so 70% of the topic already finished. So we are first trying to develop your concept about equivalent units of production. So once you are clear this one, remaining steps are very simple. So students, same example, we have to solve by using the Fifo method. So beginning work in process, students, units we are having 2000, and with respect to materials these are completed 80%, and with respect to conversion cost these are completed 40%. We started new units during the periods 8,000. So like that total 10,000 units we are having to account for. Out of 10,000 units, 9,000 we transferred. Students, here the word transferred, like you don't need to get confused. The word transfer to next department means it's completed for this department. So when he's using the word transfer to next department, so it's mean this department finish his job. So it will be considered as completed for this department. Next, we are having work in process closing. How much we are having? 1000, and 90% completed with respect to materials and 70% completed with respect to conversion cost. Like that, we are having 10,000. Now, students, I have to explain you the FIFO method. See, FIFO method only differs about work in process opening inventory. Remaining two steps will remain same. Students, here one important thing you need to understand. This is work in process opening inventory. Here I am writing the word percentage, and in the bracket I am writing the balancing percentage. I'll explain you in detail when we are applying the concept. The only thing I am explaining you the formula. Here you will write the percentage, in the bracket you can write balancing percentage. Then you will write units started and completed in same period. As I explained you already in the previous method, what is the meaning of units started and completed in same period? Units completed minus work in process opening. All right, so third step, students, also same like we did in our weighted average method. Here we will have percentage. Now, this is the formula, three steps formula. You notice that the only change about work in process opening. Now, students, here I mentioned the word percentage and also balancing percentage. So what you have to do, you have to go for opening units and take a look how much these are completed and how much left over. Like my opening units are 80% completed. How much balance? How much left over? Remaining percentage, 20%. Here, students, how much remaining? Balancing percentage to make it 100%, remaining 20%. So what you have to do, you have to take 20% of 2000 here and mention here 400. Students, I'll explain you one more time what is the meaning of balance percentage. How much is the leftover to complete it? Like it's 80% already completed. In order to make 100%, how much is the leftover? Leftover only 20%. So here you have to always apply the balancing percentage, not the percentage which is given. Usually students make the mistake, they will apply the percentage which is given here, but you have to apply the balancing percentage. All right, students, I'll keep on emphasizing this concept once I am doing the video for practice questions as well. I hope that you are clear what is the meaning of balancing percentage, remaining percentage when you are solving the question. By using FIFO method, you always have to focus on the remaining percentage. Correct students, units completed, how much we are having? 9,000 and beginning work in process 2,000. So 7,000 students I mentioned here. Work in process closing, same concept we need to apply like closing percentage we need to mention. We need to mention the closing percentage. So 90% we will take for the closing units. So students, like that you will have 900 here and your answer is coming 8,300. So like that you learned how to calculate the equivalent units of production by using the FIFO method. And this calculation we did it for materials. Now students, right now here for your better understanding, I'll perform the same calculation for conversion cost as well. Conversion cost. So students, formula will remain same. I'll write work in process opening and here I write percentage, and you know the meaning of percentage very well. Second step students, I says units started and completed in same period. And the third step, work in process, closing, and here you have to apply the percentage. Students, you must have to keep in mind what is the difference of opening percentage and closing percentage. Now I have to solve the same question for conversion cost. Students, opening units, we are having 2,000 units, and these 2,000 units are 40% completed with respect to conversion cost. So how much is the balancing one? Remaining one is how much? 60%. That 60% I'll apply on this 2,000 and I'll get the answer 1,200. Correct? Students, units started and completed in the same period. You calculate in the same manner 9,000 minus 2,000. Like earlier we calculated it so many times, 7,000. And now you will apply the percentage for the closing work in process. So percentage of completion for the conversion cost is 70%. So you will take 70% of 1,000, which will give you 700. The time you add all of these things, you will get 8,900. So this was the methodology we used to learn how to calculate the equivalent units of production by using weighted average method and FIFO method. FIFO method is bit tricky because you have to keep in mind how much balancing percentage you are using. So usually students makes the mistake in this part. So make sure that you are not making this mistake. Students, we cannot finish this video here because it will remain incomplete. I need to discuss the things with you from another perspective, like same example. I'll discuss with you from another perspective. So let me explain you the case. Students, same example I'll write for you with some different assumptions. So let me write the same example for you with some different assumptions. The students, we are having beginning work in process inventory and we are having units 2000, and these 2000 units are 100% completed with respect to materials, and with respect to conversion cost these are 40% completed. Units started during the period 8,000. So like that students, we are having 10,000 units. Units transferred, earlier I told you transferred mean completed units. And work in process closing inventory 1,000 units. So like that total we are having 10,000 units. Say Closing percentage, we are having 90% for the materials and 70% for the conversion cost. Students, this question I have to solve it for the FIFO method. This question I have to solve for FIFO method. So actually before the case which we discussed, that we call as material added throughout the process, and this is the case which we are discussing, that we call material added 100% at beginning of the process. So that's why you can see that beginning work in process 100% completed with respect to materials. Students, here, we will do some questions in our next video as well. But here, students sometimes get confused and they make the mistake about the work in process opening. But you always have to apply the same principle which I told you. Work in process opening percentage, and in the bracket I'm writing balancing percentage. How much it is already completed and how much you are going to spend in this period. Next one, students, we said that units started and completed in same period, and then we are having work in process closing units. Students, I'm just changing my assumptions here a little bit. You can assume that the closing units are 100% completed with respect to materials, because material I am adding 100% at beginning of the process. The time I am starting the process, at that time 100% material I add immediately. So that's why my closing work in process will be 100% completed with respect to material. So my formula is same. Let's start to apply. Work in process opening. Students, I told you, take the percentage, and percentage mean balancing percentage. See, my 2000 units are 100% completed with respect to materials. So if I ask you the question, will I add any material during this period? You will say no, there is no balancing percentage. So that's why I need to write here 0. Students, here what's the reason? Say you are in the month of, say this is the month of November. It's mean these units started in the month of October. The time these units started in October, at that time 100% material we already added in the month of October. That's why when you got the beginning work in process, it was 100% completed with respect to materials. So you are not going to add anything during the period. Always you have to look for balancing percentage. As you are not going to add anything during the period, so you will write here 0. Units started and completed in the same period, students, as we discussed before as well. From the completed units, you always have to subtract the opening units. So like that 7000 units, you got units started and completed in the same period. Work in process closing units 100% completed. So as it is, it will come. So like that, students, you will get the answer 8000. Alright, students, if you have any question, you can mention in the comment, and please don't forget to watch the next video. Next video, as I mentioned you, it will be the continuation of same one. I'll mention you how to calculate equivalent per unit cost. We will learn how to do the evaluation of work in process and evaluation of finished goods. But before going to the next video, I'll upload the video for practice questions. So once you are fully clear about equivalent units of production, then you will be able to perform valuation of work in process and finished goods very easily. Thank you very much.